There's something we all have in our bodies and that our bodies can make easily. In most cases, it's safe to extract, and it's necessary to save people's lives. So why is there a global shortage of plasma? Hi there, everyone. It's Jeff, and this is Plain English, where you get to upgrade your English by listening to stories in your new language. And the good news is the audio goes just a little slower than full speed, so you can catch every word. Today's episode is number 734, so if you'd like to see the transcript and the built-in translations of hard words and phrases, then it's easy. It's easy to find. Just go to plainenglish.com/734 and it's all there for you. plainenglish.com/734. Well, each Plain English episode has two parts. The first part is a story. The second part is about a common English expression. The story today is about donating plasma. Plasma is in our blood. It's part of our blood, and it's needed for life-saving medicine. But there's a worldwide shortage of plasma. So the question is, should private companies be allowed to pay people for their plasma? This is an episode that will make you think, hopefully, and that's the beauty here. You get to think in your new language. Maybe you'll agree with the points of view that I share. Maybe you'll disagree. I don't know. But that's the great part. One way or another, you will be thinking in English. And if you're a Plus member, you can practice sharing your opinion in the discussion section at plainenglish.com/734. So that's the story. In the second half of today's episode, I'll show you how to use the English expression weather the storm. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. Plasma is a light yellow-colored liquid that makes up about half the volume of our blood. Plasma acts like a courier in your body's circulatory system. It's an essential substance that helps so many of our body's other functions to work properly. Plasma is what carries nutrients from your digestive system to other parts of your body. When you get a cut, plasma carries clotting factors to the site of your injury, which helps you stop bleeding. It carries antibodies that fight infections throughout your body. Plasma plays a large role in medications and treatments. Those who suffer from hemophilia rely on plasma-based treatments to regulate their blood clotting. Plasma medications can treat immune deficiencies. They can also help with liver disease, severe burns, and other rare conditions. There is only one place to get plasma for these treatments, and that is from living humans who donate plasma. Every one of us has about 4 pints of plasma in our blood at any given moment. Our bodies replenish plasma easily after a donation. It takes just over an hour to donate. But the world is facing a shortage of plasma. Patients who need plasma treatments often have to wait to receive the treatment they need. Hospitals ration the limited supplies of blood-based medications that they do have available. And many poor countries simply can't get plasma treatments at all, so patients there have fewer options for treatment. But hang on a second. If all of us have lots of plasma, and if it's safe for most people to donate, and if donors' bodies replenish plasma in a couple of hours, then why is there a shortage? Well, it's not easy to donate plasma. If you've ever donated blood, then you know what it's like. It takes time and effort to go to the donation center. After giving, donors might feel fatigued for a little while. All in all, it's hard to convince people to voluntarily donate plasma. So, if it's hard to convince people to donate plasma out of the goodness of their hearts, what about sweetening the deal a little? Surely offering a little bit of an incentive would help, right? Patients need life-saving treatment. People need money. Paying donors a little bit of money for their plasma would seem like a win-win. It turns out that in most countries, it's illegal to pay for plasma donations. The World Health Organization advises against paying for plasma, saying that voluntary contributions should meet the need for blood treatments. But this is easier said than done. Very few countries can collect in donations what they need for their own patients. So where does most of the world get the plasma it needs to treat its patients? Most countries import it from the handful of other countries that allow paid donations. Those other countries are Austria, parts of Canada, the Czech Republic, Germany, Hungary, and the United States. In the US, for example, 20 million people donate plasma annually, about 8% of the nation's adult population. But that 8% of the US population supplies 70% of the world's plasma needs. So if paying for plasma has worked so well in the United States, then why don't other countries allow it? There are two main arguments against this practice. The first and the strongest argument is that paying people for their plasma exploits the poor. According to this argument, the most vulnerable people in society will open their veins time and again for a quick hit of cash. This seems inhumane. It sounds like something out of a dystopian novel. Capitalist drug companies want to literally suck the blood of the poor, all for their own profits. Is this argument valid? Let's consider the experience from the United States by far the world's biggest supplier of plasma. Who are the people who donate plasma? In the United States, plasma donors are more likely to be poor, single parents, and ethnic minorities. Many people donate plasma to boost their incomes. Some donate proudly and go to the donation center with family and friends. But many people are ashamed that they donate. They're ashamed that they need the money, so they don't tell anyone. The U.S. allows plasma donation twice in 7 days. Each donation pays about $50 and lasts about 90 minutes. A lot of donors go to plasma centers when they need a quick infusion of cash. But some people donate frequently. If you go twice a week in the U.S., you can make $5,200 per year. That can make a big difference. Some plasma centers gamify donations, awarding loyalty points and prizes for frequent visits. Billboards on the highway tout plasma donations as a part-time job or part of the gig economy. So this would tend to support the argument that it's mostly lower-income people who donate. But it doesn't necessarily mean the poor are being exploited. People see it as another option to get a little extra money if they need it. A recent study showed that some people choose plasma donations instead of a high-interest loan when they have an unexpected expense. It's understandable if the commercialization makes you uncomfortable, but not every country that allows paid plasma donations is as freewheeling as the United States. Germany limits donations to 60 times per year, so it's much less likely that you can make this a part-time, year-round gig in Germany. In some countries, it's not permitted to advertise the payments on billboards, which makes it seem less commercial. Besides, people of all income levels donate plasma for reasons other than the money, even if they do get paid a little for it. Many donors want to do something good for the world. They take time out of their day, they visit a clinic, they get a needle in the arm, and they may feel tired afterward. Sure, they get a little money for it, but they don't consider it a part-time job, just a small incentive to compensate them for the effort and the hassle. The second argument against paid plasma donations is about safety. People who have certain diseases cannot donate plasma. The concern is that some ineligible donors who need a quick $50 may not be truthful on their screening questionnaires and donate anyway. But there is a lot of testing done on donated plasma, and the likelihood of disease transmission is extremely low. Many of today's fears stem from high-profile outbreaks of HIV and hepatitis in donated blood in the 1970s and the 1980s, when testing wasn't as advanced as it is today. The argument about safety is less valid. The question comes down to this: where paid plasma donations are legal, the people who donate are disproportionately, though not exclusively, poor, and they often, but not always, do it because they need the money. This makes people uncomfortable, and this is why people think it should not be allowed. But this discomfort must be set against the global shortage of life-saving medicine. Shouldn't it also be uncomfortable that patients, especially in the poorest countries, don't even have the option to receive plasma-based treatments? A single patient with an autoimmune disease needs hundreds of donations worth of plasma in a year. Where is all that plasma going to come from, if not from paid donors? I don't love it that people feel the need to get a needle in their arm when they need $50, and I don't love the gamification and ads promoting plasma as a part-time job. But if the system is safe, sanitary, and regulated to prevent abuse, then I think it's better than the alternative, which is shortages and rationing of medication for people who are suffering. The expression today is weather the storm. You probably know the word weather, and you probably know the word storm, but weather, in this case, believe it or not, is a verb, to weather the storm. We talked about this one in episode number 300. That was in the fall of 2020, so about 6 months into COVID. And the episode was about live music venues, concert halls, places like that. And the question was whether they would survive. And in the episode, I said that big companies can more easily weather the storm than small companies or owners of a single property. So now it's your turn to learn how to use the expression weather the storm. Today's expression is to weather the storm. This means to survive a difficult time without suffering too much damage, and it often means just to survive. We use this when a person or a company is in danger. In times of danger, you focus only on surviving. All your effort goes into surviving until the danger passes. You know you'll be hurt by the experience. You just hope that you're not hurt too badly by it. Live music has been put almost completely on hold in most parts of the world. The owners of concert venues are not making any money right now. Many are at risk of closing. Therefore, we say that the owners of live music venues are trying to weather the storm. They are trying to survive this difficult time. What are they doing to survive, to weather the storm? Some may be negotiating with their landlords or their banks to get a break on their rent or their loan payments. Some may be trying to adapt and sell a little bit of food. Maybe they are hosting online concerts and asking for donations. Many are lobbying the government for help and applying for grants and loans. They probably cut most of their staff a long time ago, so in many cases, it's just the owner and one or two other people. These are not the activities of a thriving, growing business or even a healthy business. These are the activities of a business fighting for its survival. They are just trying to survive until the end of the pandemic, until they can start selling tickets, selling drinks, hosting concerts again. And that is the essence of weather the storm. You hope you can survive until the storm passes because you can't be in this situation forever. In today's lesson, I said that a big company that operates music venues is better able to weather the storm than a small independent venue. Why is a big company able to weather the storm better than a smaller one? A big company might have more cash available. A big company might make money in multiple different ways, so that bigger company wouldn't be as badly affected if just one part of its business is forced to close. A bigger company might have more leverage to negotiate with suppliers and landlords. A bigger company might have the ability to invest and capitalize on new trends, and so on. And indeed, you are seeing this throughout the economy. Big companies with the means to adapt and weather the storm are doing well. Small companies without the safety net are not doing as well. Many individuals are just trying to weather the storm too. If you lose your job, you probably need to reduce your spending, rely on your savings, maybe rely on help from friends and family, and start looking for a new job. In a situation like that, you are just trying to weather the storm. You need to get through this until you get a new job again. It often refers to an economic situation, but not always. Let's imagine you are caring for a sick relative. It takes a lot of your time and emotional energy. You want to do it for that relative, but it also comes at a personal cost to you. During that time, you're not able to concentrate on yourself, on your own family, your own relationships, your happiness, your future, your job. You're just trying to weather the storm, to do the minimum to hold on until the crisis passes. It doesn't mean you quit your job or leave your family, but it means you are not dedicating the time and energy you need to other parts of your life while you deal with the emergency, in this case, caring for a sick relative. Hopefully, the relative recovers and you can then rebalance things, but until then, you're just trying to weather the storm. You can imagine the other types of situations that might require you to just weather the storm, just survive a difficult time. You or your business might be subject to a lawsuit. You might have to defend yourself from that lawsuit, and all your energy and some money goes into hiring a lawyer to defend yourself. If you own a business and lose an important customer, you will have to weather the storm until you can replace that customer. If you're working in the emergency room at a hospital and all of a sudden the ER gets very busy, the ER staff needs to weather the storm. They know they're not going to be able to dedicate all the time they want with each new patient, but they need to just weather the storm, deal with the most urgent cases first, and work through the caseload until things calm down. Try to get through the tough time without too much damage. That's all for today's Plain English. Remember, this was episode number 734, so you can find the full transcript, translations, exercises, and practice opportunities at plainenglish.com/734. We'll be back on Thursday with a new story. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.